Dave, the Red Pill Coach, and I'm back for another week to talk about how you can improve your marriage and how you can make your life a better thing for you and your family. I've already completed my advertisement, so we'll get right into it this time. And with a little review from last time, we talked about the concept of flooding. We talked about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The fact that under conditions of extreme stress, you have your sympathetic nervous system activate. This is known as the fight or flight. This is something that we've known about since grade school, but it's not something that we've applied in our everyday life because we were taught the fight or flight instinct kicks in when you're, as we said last time, when you're facing a tiger. Well, it does. And that's great. That's the way it's supposed to work. It's to protect you from danger and get your body ready to flee or to fight for your life. And it works great in the jungle. It doesn't work as well in suburbia. And the reason for that is very simple. We were not evolved to be under constant stress. We were not evolved to have our sympathetic nervous system constantly being activated. And when you are married, most men today find that their sympathetic nervous system is constantly being activated, often by the Screechtard that you married. That's a little term I borrowed from Athol K. May peace be upon him. Now, the concept of flooding means that when you're just talking to your wife, when you're listening, when you're having a normal conversation, you get flooded. That is to say, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in and you think you're in a fight for your life. The nice thing about the sympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic for that matter, is that it activates muscles and it's an autonomous. It's an autonomic response. In other words, it's a not conscious response. When your pupils dilate when you're excited, that's not a conscious response. But guess what? Most of the issues with flooding are, in fact, under conscious control. Let me repeat that. They are under conscious control. Now, when the sympathetic nervous system activates, one of the things that it does is it shuts down conscious control, which means when you're flooded, it can be extremely difficult to think clearly. Ergo, if you are able to control your flooding, guess what? You can think clearly. And if you can control your flooding while your wife is not controlling her flooding, that gives you a decisive advantage. How do we go about controlling our flooding? Gottman gives us the solution, and he says we should meditate and learn how to control it using biofeedback. And that works, except unfortunately, as in many cases, Gottman, the marriage counselor, missed the critical piece in all of this puzzle and how you go about controlling your flooding. Because yes, you can control it using meditation and biofeedback. But Gottman deliberately, I believe, ignored the most important issue in flooding, and that is your mindset. That's your mindset. That's how you control flooding. Before it begins, you adopt a mindset that allows you to control the flooding. Now, why did Gottman miss this? Well, I have my theories. Gottman, I believe, missed it because it puts women in a non-ideal light. That is to say, when you reveal the true nature of women, it makes some of them mad. They don't like it. And who are Gottman's primary customers? That's right, women. So he ignored this issue and tried to figure out a way we could do it unisex and boys and girls are the same, and he's full of crap. Boys and girls are not the same, and we approach problems very differently. So we're going to look at the married red pill solutions to flooding. Now, we don't call it flooding. We use terms like don't lose your frame. Well, what is your frame? That is the cool, passionate, calm, collected you at your best. That's your frame. That's your ideal frame and what you want to build. And when you have attacks on that frame, We call those shit tests. That is to say, women will shit test you. And if you have any issues or questions about these terms I'm using and this whole constellation of terminology, I direct you to Blue Pill Professor's Married Red Pill Basic class, where all of these terms are explained in detail. We are going to go beyond that because Married Red Pill has figured out how to control your flooding, and it begins with you. It begins with your mindset. And what is this mysterious mindset that Gottman ignored, conveniently, in order to not tick off? We have it narrowed down to just a few letters. It's an acronym. DNGAF. Let me repeat that. DNGAF. And I gotta swear now, guys, I want to apologize in advance to the deacons and the pastors who refer me clients. I have to say a few swear words, and that swear word is fuck. Because DNGAF stands for do not give a fuck. That's the mindset you need to adopt, gentlemen. That's the mindset. Do not give a fuck. And let me clarify exactly what that means. Because a lot of you guys, good God, a lot of you guys are autistic. I think you're autistic. Because you look at that and you say, oh, the Married Red Pill guys told me to do not give a fuck. So they say, well, I shouldn't care about my wife. I shouldn't care about her emotions. That's not it, guys. We actually, there was a dispute among the moderators on the forum at one point where one of the moderators suggested, don't even say anything to these guys because evolution will take its course and natural selection will eliminate them from the gene pool eventually. I'm not willing to give up on you guys yet, okay? So I want to tell you and explain in very plain terms that do not give a fuck does not mean that you don't give a crap about your wife. It does not mean you don't give a crap about her emotions. It means you don't give a crap about her negativity. You don't give a crap about her testing. You don't give a crap about her female annoying bullcrap. When you adopt that attitude, DNGAF, you find that dealing with women is much easier and avoiding flooding is a whole lot easier. Guys, the model for Married Red Pill is the captain first officer model. Okay? It's not a master-slave model. It's not a model where you can ignore the welfare of your crew. The captain is concerned with the welfare of his crew. If he's not, he ain't going to have a crew for very long. And when he does, it's not going to be a very good crew. So yes, you need to care about your wife. You need to care about her emotions. You need to manage them. But you need to DNGAF about her poking and prodding and challenging. Develop your frame. Be strong. And when she challenges it, don't care. Say, nope, I want to go here. And she pouts and complains. Guess what? Don't give a fuck. When you can do that, you will find that you can control your flooding much more easily. This concept of DNGAF with respect to avoiding losing your shit, as we say, is the Married Red Pill attempt at avoiding flooding. And it happens to be far more effective than anything Gottman ever proposed. You need to adopt the right mindset when dealing with women. And you need to understand women. It's in female nature to poke and to test and to prod. You say you want to go to this restaurant. She says, well, what about this one? We haven't tried this. That is what women do. Learn to live with it, learn to love it, and learn to do not give a fuck about her meandering and her whining. Just enjoy the journey and be the leader of the family, and you'll do just fine. So when she's picking and carping and challenging you, don't get flooded. Picture a duck. If I live in the country, I used to live in the country. So a duck I was watching a family of ducks one time, and they went under a bridge, and this big, giant rainfall, it was like a bucket, was dumped on one of the ducks. And it was so forceful, it actually forced this duck underwater. Well, guess what? The duck popped right up and didn't even have to shake because the water just rolled off him. And that's what you want to do, gentlemen. When she starts carping and complaining, it needs to just roll off you, and you just continue on your way without getting soaked, without getting flooded, and without getting your feathers ruffled. So that's the first acronym that Gottman missed. The second acronym that Gottman missed in his continual, as all marriage counselors do, exhortations to talk, 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 talk. If you have a problem, make sure you sit down and talk. Well, Married Red Pill has a different solution, and our solution is to STFU. Shut the fuck up. Don't argue. Verbal intercourse is optional, and it takes two to argue. So if you're getting into arguments with your wife, guess what? You're at least half at fault, and probably more at fault. Because if you shut the fuck up and not engage in carping and complaining and bad behavior, you will see a slow decrease in that bad behavior over time. Both of these, STFU and DNGAF, both of these are Married Red Pill attempts at soothing. You are soothing yourself, calming yourself, keeping you from losing your shit. And you will find that your life becomes a whole lot easier. To talk, play, have fun, have long, heartfelt conversations with your wife. Just don't engage in bad behavior. Shut up. And that's really about it, guys. Don't give a fuck about bad behavior, and shut the fuck up rather than engaging bad behavior. Those are two strategies that I have written down, but we are already at 12 and a half minutes, so I'm going to have to cut this short. But I will be back next week with 5 more ways to control your flooding, which we will cover next week. So I want to leave you today with some more wisdom from her time. Hopefully it will help some of you. You're starting to lose your shit, when you're starting to become overwhelmed by her emotions. Because number 9 of the 16 Commandments of Poon explains to you how to connect with her emotions. Because her mind is an alien world that requires deft navigation to reach your rendezvous. Frolic in the surf of emotions, rather than the arid desert of logic. Be playful. Employ all your senses. Describe in lush detail scenarios to set her heart afire. Give your feelings freedom to roam. Roam! Yes! That is a good word. You're not on a linear path with her. You are roaming all over, taking her on an adventure. In this world, there is no need to finish thoughts or draw conclusions. There is only need to experience. You're grabbing her hand and running with her down an infinite labyrinth, alleyway with no end, laughing and letting your fingers glide on the cobblestone walls along the way. So I hope that helps you guys, some of you at least, to become less flooded when you're dealing with female emotions, because it really is an alien landscape, and you really need to approach it like you're frolicking in the surf with her. Sometimes that emotional tidal wave washes over, but you remain unmoved. So thank you very much for listening. Like, share, and spread the word. And if you need any personal help, visit me at my website at coachingformen.com. The number 4. Thank you very much.
I can't do this all on my own. No, I know I'm no Superman. I'm no Superman.